Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
You're about to take a deep dive into one of the biggest true crime cases in the universe. Or, at least, on our part of the planet. From the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today.
You've been glued to the Delphi murders, right? I mean, it's been years. And this past week, things got really interesting. We're doing a deep dive into court filings, the latest ones, ending September 30th. They give us a sneak peek at how the defense and prosecution are getting ready for trial.
It's like we're peeking behind the curtain of their legal strategies. And let me tell you, these are some big moves they're making.
So let's start with something called a jury view. The defense, they wanted to take the jury to the key spots from the case. We're talking the bridge where the girls were found, where they were last seen, even a building linked to Richard Allen. You'd think that's pretty standard, wouldn't you?
It's actually more common than people realize. Defense attorneys, they often use these jury visits to try and help the jury connect with the case, on a deeper level. Make it feel real, not just something they're hearing about in court. Sometimes that can create doubt.
Makes sense. But here's the thing. The prosecutor, Nick McClelland, he said no. He was worried about the jury's safety, people trespassing, and he said these places have changed a lot since 2017. Plus, he's going to show lots of visuals, like drone footage. Isn't that risky, though, saying no to a jury view?
It's definitely a gamble. On the one hand, McClelland might be trying to keep the jury from getting too emotionally attached to those places.
Right.
But then again, it could make the jury suspicious. They might wonder what he's trying to hide.
Exactly. Like, what's the big deal about them seeing it? It just makes the whole thing more intriguing. Speaking of intriguing, let's talk about this whole gag order fight. Now, that's where things get juicy.
Oh, absolutely. Allen's lawyers are really pushing to make some witnesses talk. Witnesses who wouldn't share certain things during those pre-trial interviews. They're saying these witnesses were told to keep quiet. If that's true, it changes the game.
And here's the kicker. One of these silent witnesses is a prison guard, a Department of Corrections guard. What's a prison guard doing mixed up in all of this? What could they know that's so secret it needs a gag order?
That detail is huge because it could mean something happened while Allen was locked up, something the prosecution really wants to keep hidden.
So we've got a no-go on the site visit, which could be strategic or a big mistake. And then we've got this battle over secrets, hinting at something being hidden. It's already more twisted than I imagined.
And we're just getting started. What we need to remember is that both of these things, as different as they seem, they actually might be part of a larger plan the defense is using.
So we've got these two legal moves, right? They seem different, but you're saying they could be part of a bigger plan by the defense.
Exactly. Let's think about it. The defense, their goal is to poke holes in the prosecution's story, the timeline of events. Even small inconsistencies, those can create doubt in the minds of a jury. And that could help Allen.
Okay, so that makes sense with the site visit. The defense wants the jury to actually see those places, maybe find those little inconsistencies themselves.
Right. And that gag order fight, that could be even more important. If that prison guard saw something, anything, that doesn't fit with what the prosecution is saying about where Allen was and what he was doing.
That could be huge. And the prosecution is fighting so hard to keep it quiet. It's like they're saying, don't look over here. Which, of course, just makes you want to look even more.
It definitely raises the stakes. This is classic courtroom drama. The prosecution wants to tell a clear story, while the defense, they want to shake things up, create confusion, and hopefully for them, enough doubt for a not guilty verdict.
And this prison guard, that's the wild card. We have no idea what they know or if they're even believable. But the possibility of something new coming out, that's what's so interesting.
Totally. And it shows how important these pretrial motions are. They're not just boring legal stuff. They're like battles where the defense and prosecution are fighting for every advantage.
It's a chess match, each side trying to outmaneuver the other.
And the stakes are incredibly high. This isn't just about legal strategy. It's about justice for those two girls and a fair trial for the man accused of killing them.
Which brings us back to you and what you're interested in. We're seeing these two legal strategies at work, but will they actually work once the trial starts?
It's impossible to say for sure right now, but based on these motions, we can make some guesses about what each side is trying to do. The prosecution, they want a clean, simple case, no room for doubt. The defense, they're looking for any chance to mess that up, create uncertainty, make the jury think there's more to the story.
It makes you think, if the defense can really challenge that timeline, or if that prison guard says something unexpected, it could change everything. It's like we're watching a true crime documentary, but it's real life. You see those little things, those details that seem small, and you realize they could be the key to the whole thing.
It really shows you how much strategy goes into a trial. It's not just, here are the facts. It's about, how do you tell the story to the jury? And both sides know how important every decision is, every single word.
And that's what you're interested in, right? Why these pre-trial things matter. We're talking about those two girls, their families, and of course a man facing serious charges. It's so important that everything's done right, that all the evidence is looked at carefully. And these filings, even though they're kind of technical, they show us how both sides are trying to make sure that happens.
Absolutely. The defense wants to show there are weaknesses in the case, make the jury unsure. The prosecution, they want to tell a story that makes sense and is convincing. Every move is important.
It's like a chess game, right? Back and forth.
Yeah, and the stakes are incredibly high. This is about justice for those girls and a fair trial for Richard Allen. And those things are so important.
This deep dive into the Delphi murders, it's been intense. And honestly, it shows us how much we still don't know. But looking at these court filings, we can start to see what the big arguments will be, the things that could change everything at trial.
That's what's so interesting about this case. What will the jury think when they hear all of this? Will the defense's plan work? Or will the prosecution be able to get a conviction? We'll have to see.
One thing's for sure, this is far from over. As we learn more, as the trial gets closer, everyone's going to be watching, waiting for answers, hoping for justice.
And that's something we should all think about. The Delphi murders, they remind us how complicated our justice system is, how important evidence is, and how crucial it is that everyone has a fair trial.
It's a case that just keeps you hooked, and we're just at the beginning. This deep dive has shown you what goes on behind the scenes, the legal battles that happen before we even get to trial. Stick with us, because as the Delphi murders case goes forward, we'll be here to break it all down for you.
We'll analyze every new development, every twist and turn, right here on The Deep Dive.
So be sure to subscribe, follow, and share this deep dive with anyone who's just as captivated by this case as we are. And until next time, stay curious.
In a world where the darkest secrets lie just beneath the surface,
They said it was an accident, but the evidence says otherwise.
where hidden killers roam unnoticed in the shadows.
I think you would definitely be looking at a blend of toxic, very bad narcissistic personality traits, and they will be vengeful and possibly resort to violence.
Join Tony Bruschi as he uncovers the truth behind the most chilling cases.
They said it was an accident, but the evidence clearly says otherwise.
Each episode, we dig deep into the minds of those who commit the unthinkable.
To your point on narcissism, he thinks in his own mind how witty he is.
Yeah.
But he lost that jury. I was done with him in 2 minutes.
From unsolved mysteries to infamous crimes.
Geez, you've just talked about how you've taught yourself how to do everything under the sun. I bet you did a YouTube video, how to best kill somebody with a knife.
Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi takes you where few dare to go.
How does someone with such a dark secret go unnoticed for so long?
With multiple new episodes every single day.
We're not just telling stories, we're seeking justice.
Listen now on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi.